Video released by the New Haven Police Department shows the moments when Randy Cox, transported in a police van, slammed against the wall. His attorney, civil rights lawyer Benjamin Crump.
Randy Cox is lying in that hospital bed, paralyzed from his chest down.
Cox's family also claiming he wasn't given proper medical attention, something New Haven's assistant police chief addressed.
We have a policy that says if someone's in distress in the wagon, you pull over, you call for medical assistance, and you wait. He didn't do that.
Police officials say it all started Sunday, June 19th, as a weapons complaint. Cox sitting on a bench in the back of the vehicle with no seatbelt. Then, in Bodycam video released by police, you see the officer, identified as Oscar Diaz, driving to a detention center. Once at the detention facility, video shows officers lifting Cox up and out of the vehicle.
No, you drink too much. Okay. Sit up.
He appears limp and did not stand on his own. The footage shows Cox slumped in that wheelchair while he's processed, before he's eventually dragged across the floor and put in a cell where restraints are placed on his legs.
What started as a routine arrest would change one man's life forever. No gunfire, no foot chase, no fight, just a van, a hard stop, and silence. This is the story of Randy Cox, a man who entered a police vehicle with 2 working legs and never walked again. Randy Cox was your everyday man. Born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut, Randy was a son, a brother, a friend. He had a quiet personality, enjoyed family gatherings, and lived a life far from the spotlight. But on June 19th, 2022, Juneteenth, his name would become headline news. That Sunday, Randy was at a neighborhood block party. People were dancing, cooking out, and enjoying the holiday that marks the end of slavery in the United States. According to police, Randy was suspected of carrying a firearm. The officers said they saw him with a gun, but no weapon was ever found on him. He didn't run. He didn't resist. He complied.
All right, my man. Step in there.
All right.
All right, step right in there.
Got it?
One leg at a time.
One leg at a
watch
time.
your head.
Watch your head, all right?
After Randy was arrested, officers placed him in the back of a police transport van. There were no seatbelts, no restraints, just a hard, empty metal space. These vans are designed to hold people securely, but without safety considerations, they can become death traps. Inside the van, Randy was tossed around like cargo. A few minutes into the ride, the officer driving the van slammed the brakes suddenly. There was no warning, no protection. Randy flew headfirst into the van's wall, fracturing his cervical spine. The damage was immediate. He cried out. "I can't move," he said. "I think I broke my neck." But his pleas were ignored. The driver continued to the detention center, stopping only to meet with another unit. Instead of calling for medics, the officers joked about him being drunk.
Is wearing army hat.
I'm stopping. I'm going to check you out. What happened? What? You fell.
Yeah.
What happened? Can you move at all?
I can't move.
What? How your leg is all the way up there?
Understand me. Listen, brother.
All right, I can't move you, so I have to hold on. I'm gonna have to go get an ambulance.
Listen, no.
Huh?
Yes, but understand.
Go ahead.
I fall. I cannot move my arms.
All right, do not move. I can see moving your arm.
No.
Okay.
Look at my hand.
All right, hold on.
Help.
171.
171.
Can you start a signal 1? The subject in the van, he said he fell inside the van and he can't move. So I'm on my way to detention right now. So please, could you start me signal 1 over there?
When Randy arrived at the detention center, he couldn't move. He lay paralyzed on the floor of the van. The officers didn't call for an ambulance. They didn't use a stretcher. Instead, they dragged his limp body across the pavement and into the jail.
Cox, either we can move you or you can wait till AR moves you.
Slide down, my man.
No, Jay.
Yo, slide down so you can get out of here.
Look, if you gotta drag me, let's go through.
Alright.
Fuck what I like. I'll let her relax for a bit.
Alright, there you go.
You're almost there. You're almost there. Now get your shoulders out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stand up. There we go. All right.
Get up.
How you making out? Ready? Actually, go over here. Get there. Huh?
You ain't cracking. You just drink too much. No, you drink too much.
Okay.
Sit up.
We ain't gonna kick you out. What's just
I can't feel shit, bro.
Sit up.
Stop playing around.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, sit up. You're doing extra shit. Sit up. Sit up. What else did you have? Did you have any drugs in alcohol?
Listen, no.
You're not fine. How much? Okay. How much did you have to drink?
Hold on a second.
Oh my God, yeah, fucking broke my heart.
I was pissed. Huh? He's perfectly fine. You want to put these on him? Yep. Hold on, Ron. Hold on, Ron.
Alright.
Inside the facility, they continued to mock him. Surveillance footage shows the officers laughing. One says he's faking it. Another tells him to get up. Randy begs for help. "I can't feel my legs," he screams. They prop him up in a wheelchair. His body slumps over. His head hangs down. He can't support himself. Still, they act as if he's pretending. For more than 15 minutes, Randy remained in this condition before anyone took his condition seriously. Only then was medical help called. Randy was finally rushed to the hospital. The doctors delivered grim news. His cervical spine had been crushed. He was now paralyzed from the chest down. There was no going back, no chance of natural recovery. The damage had already been done in the minutes officers spent doubting him, dragging him, mocking him. His mother, Doreen Coleman, collapsed when she saw him in the hospital bed. "My baby," she cried. "They broke my baby." Randy would spend months in the hospital. His life, once simple and free, now revolved around a wheelchair, catheters, feeding tubes, and caregivers. The video footage of Randy's treatment spread across social media. The public was outraged. Civil rights leaders, including attorney Ben Crump, stepped in to represent the family. Protests erupted in New Haven and beyond. Marchers held signs, "Justice for Randy Cox." Black Lives Matter. No seatbelt. No excuse. The city of New Haven placed the 5 officers involved on administrative leave, but no criminal charges were immediately filed. Investigations dragged on. Apologies were given, but justice was not. Ben Crump called it the most egregious case of police neglect since Freddie Gray. Cox's family filed a $100 million federal lawsuit.
News from New Haven tonight, where the police commission fired 2 of the officers involved in the Randy Cox case.
And you may recall Cox was paralyzed in police custody in a case that made national headlines. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Eliza Krasinski is joining us now live in New Haven with more tonight. Eliza?
Mark, Aaron, good evening. It happened last June, almost a year ago to the day. Randy Cox was paralyzed in a police transport van. The 5 officers that were involved in this incident were all arrested and charged. And tonight, 2 of those officers will not be returning to the force.
That's not how you're supposed to be trained as an officer.
Cox had been arrested. He was being transported to the police station, handcuffed in a police van when the driver stopped short. Cox went flying headfirst into the back of the van. He's now paralyzed from the chest down. Cox told the 5 officers he couldn't move, saying he thought his neck was broken. This video shows him being pulled out of the van by his feet. He was processed in a wheelchair and dragged into a holding cell.
That completely blows my mind. That completely blows my mind. And I don't even have comments about that because no words come to mind. No words.
Tonight, Officer Jocelyn Lavendiere and Officer Luis Rivera fired. The fate of the 2 other officers hasn't been decided yet, and the 5th officer retired. All 5 are facing charges of reckless endangerment and cruelty to persons, both misdemeanors.
I don't think they should ever become like legal officers ever again.
This decision comes after long deliberations and Chief Carl Jacobson's recommendations.
The chief and his team did a very thorough process in evaluating what occurred and analyzing the policies of the police department, made a determination that the officers' violations were significant enough to merit termination, and the police commission followed those recommendations.
And the police commission will decide the fate of those 2 other officers on June 28th. And on Friday, this Friday, there will be a settlement conference with Cox's attorneys. Reporting live in New Haven tonight, Eliza Krasinski, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Eliza, thank you. Now, coming up.
Today, Randy Cox is paralyzed for life. Every day is a struggle. Tasks that were once second nature, eating, sitting, using the bathroom, now require assistance. He lives under 24-hour care. His voice trembles when he talks. He said in an interview, "They didn't treat me like a human being. I was just trash to them." He's not asking for fame. He's not even asking for pity. He's asking for one thing: accountability.
Good evening to you both. Yeah, all 5 officers pleaded not guilty in this case, and it happened really quick in just about 5 minutes. It actually happened so fast that one of Cox's attorneys missed the whole thing.
Parties identify themselves for the record, please.
One by one.
This is the full appearance, Attorney Ford?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All 5 New Haven police officers faced a judge, pleading not guilty to reckless endangerment and cruelty charges, both misdemeanors. Officers Oscar Diaz, Jocelyn Lavendiere, Ronald Presley, Luis Rivera, and Sergeant Betsy Segui were all charged back in November. Each posted a $25,000 bond, all still out on administrative leave. We caught most of them walking out of court. Anything you guys would like to say to us? The interaction was almost as quick as what happened inside the courtroom, to the point where Cox's attorney got there early but missed it.
To let Randy know, because as I've told him, I'll be at every hearing, and I did my best to be there on time. I was early, but late, apparently.
Jack O'Donnell says he sees Cox on a weekly basis. He's still paralyzed from the chest down, unable to do anything for himself. This all after what happened on June 19th.
I can't feel
Cox was in the back of a police van, handcuffed without a seatbelt when the officer driving the car stopped short, sending him headfirst into the van. Despite asking for help several times, court documents show the officers continued to drag Cox on the ground, placing him in a cell and not providing him the proper care.
His spirits are generally good, considering the circumstances. He is disappointed that the police officers were only charged with misdemeanors.
In the meantime, there's still another side to this, a civil lawsuit, where Cox's attorneys are asking the city of New Haven for $100 million. Last month, they started settlement talks.
We all share the goal of trying to find a pathway to settle here.
Now, Mayor Justin Elicker says that they do have a settlement conference scheduled for next month. In the meantime, we're also hearing from Ben Crump, national civil rights attorney who also represents Cox in this case, sending out a very strong statement. We'll read part of it for you now. He says, quote, "It is absolutely shameful that these officers fail to see how their actions led to the trauma and severe injury that caused Randy Cox to be paralyzed from the chest down. Since these 5 officers failed to take accountability for their actions, they will now have to face a trial where the prosecution will present the significant evidence against their claims of no guilt. Now, coming back out here live, coming up at 6, we'll tell you about the internal affairs investigation, which will decide if these officers need further punishment from their department. We're live here in New Haven tonight. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61 News.